Okay, so we just finished getting our linear regression equation, which it's ax plus b. So we can write it as y equals 2.6x minus 1.8. See how that's a minus right there? So the r value was this, which we could calculate it as an estimate of 1, which means a very strong correlation. So now we are going to actually look at this in the calculator. So to see the data, turn on stat plot, which is second y equals. So I hit second y equals, and it says we want to turn plot 1 on. So we're going to push enter. And see how it's off right now? So we're going to push enter to turn it on. So I'm going to do plot 1 on. And then everything's already default. And it's going to be colored blue. Right, on the 84 anyway. Then we're going to graph. So highlight what I'm highlighting. And I only see 4 points. I don't see, remember how there's 5 points here? I don't see all 5. So something we can do is right down here, zoom. And then we are going to look for number 9, which is zoom stat. So that means I'm going to zoom in on just the information that I put in on stat. So write it down, and then we'll put it in the keystrokes. We'll go to zoom, go down to number 9, which is zoom stat. And now we can see all of our data points, which actually is the same thing as the screenshot over here. What did I do? I went zoom, and then I went down to number 9, zoom stat.
No. Like, I'm still on this because I got distracted.
If you shot through mine, put it in a line and it only goes to 1
Okay,
point.
so what we need to do now is go to y equals and put in the line that we have. So then down here, after that, you're going to go to y equals, put in equation. And that's going to graph the equation over the scatter plot. So we're going to go to, remember this equation right here? So y equals 2.6x minus 1.8. Make sure you put that x in there. A lot of people forget that. So whenever I do that, now I can hit graph again. And I have a scatter plot, and I have the line, the trend line. And we are going to use a ruler. So find a ruler in your box. And we are going to plot this based on how it looks here. So it looks like it goes directly through this one, above that one, below that one, below that one, and above that one. I'm going to look and see if I can make that happen. That looks pretty close. I think I was off a little bit, but it's pretty close. Okay, so make sure that you know how to do this. On examples 1 and 2 inside this foldable, we are going to follow these same steps. The only thing that will be changed is what our L1 and our L2 will be. So when I want to go to the next one, I'm going to go to y equals. I'm going to clear that equation out. Then I'm going to go to stats, edit. I'm going to clear out my list. So go back to stats, edit. I want to clear this out. So I'm going to go up to L1 and push clear, enter. And it clears that whole list out. Then I'm going to go over to L2, push clear, enter. Clears that whole list out. Okay, so let's go to example 1. Let's read what we have. A convenience store manager notices sales of soft drinks are higher on hotter days, so he assembles the data in the table. So if he thinks it's sales are higher on hotter days, what kind of correlation does that look like it's going to be? It's going to be a positive. Yeah, because they're both increasing. So we are going to put this data in our L1, which is going to be X, and our L2, which is going to be Y. The scatter plot that we're going to do is going to be in our calculator. So we're not going to worry about doing that right now. And then part B and C, we are going to round to the hundredths place, which means how many places behind the decimal? 2 places.
That's such a good scribble.
Okay, so let's go ahead and do this together. So we first need to make sure, if we look back over here, we need to make sure our stat diagnostics is on. So we need to go to mode, make sure it's on. Then we want to go to stat, edit, and put in L1 and L2. Go over to L1, go ahead and put in that data. Should be putting in your data now. Double check your data before you move on. Because if you mess up any of these numbers in here, it's going to mess up your entire equation. Okay, once we get our L1 and our L2 in, I'm going to look back over here. And we're on step 4 now. Click Stat again. And we are going to calculate. Stat, calc. And we are doing linear regression. So that's number 4. Enter. And just enter until we get the linear equation. Okay, so let's look over here. So we need to write our regression equation, and we're rounding to the nearest hundredths place, which would be 2 places behind the decimal. So it's going to be y equals ax plus b. A, 16.416, but we are rounding. So it's going to be 16.42x plus b. Well, b is a negative 621.8, says 26, so it'll be 83. That's our equation. Make sure you have your x in there because it's ax plus b. If it didn't work, you need to go back to stat, edit, and double check your L1 and L2. Make sure you go all the way up to the top. Clear out your memory and try again. What did it come up with?
Well,
Does it say error?
It says y equals a plus b l in x.
Yeah, you did something wrong. Clear out your memory and do it again. Okay, if you didn't get the same thing, just clear out your memory if you get something crazy. Did you do count? Did you go down to linear regression, number 4?
I think I went to number 9.
Okay, that might be one. Yeah, LN regression is different. You need to do Lin regression, L-I-N. Okay, then it wants to know the correlation coefficient, which I'm going to show you on mine again. Which is, if we round that, 0.97. Because I'm rounding. So since it's close to 1, this is a very strong correlation. Messed up on my correlation. Okay, now we need to graph, because we said we were going to make a scatter plot up here wherever I marked this out. Let's look at our scatter plot. So look back over here, and we are going to do part 7. So it says second y equals, term plots, plot on, then hit graph. I don't see anything though. What do we got to do?
Zoom.
Zoom stat. So go to zoom, go down to number 9, zoom stat. Now I can see it much better. Then I want to graph my line over the top. So I need to go to y equals and put in our equation. The equation is 16.42 x minus 621.83. And hit graph. And look at the model now. Seems to go through pretty good. Okay, so then part D says use the model to predict soft drink sales if the temperature is, what does it say, 95. Okay, let me show you something really cool that our calculator can do here too. So remember how the temperature is our x values? So that means I want to find out what does y equal when x is 95 degrees. Y equals what? I want to know what the soft drink sales are. So I'm using the model. Whenever I say model, that means the equation or the line. So I'm going to use, since I put that into y equals, I'm going to use my table of values. So I'm going to go second table. But who wants to push this all the way to 95? I don't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do second window. And I'm going to change my table start value to be 95. So second window, table start 95. That means my table will start at 95 instead of me pushing an arrow all the way down. Now I go to the table, and there's my 95 temp, 938.07 drink sales. Which, what would I actually put? Can we sell 0.07?
No, you just put 900.
Okay, so 938 drink sales.
Drink sold.
That's probably better. Yeah, drink sold sounds a lot better. Thank you. Drink sold. Okay, so I have written all of my steps down. I hope you wrote them down too, so I'll help you. So y'all are going to do example 2. Same thing. You're going to round to the hundredths place. Make a scatter plot in the calculator. So we're not going to do it on here. And write your linear regression and then predict.